Nelson here, making a quick video showing the ZX Spectrum Plus 2 that I imported in from England. As you may or may not know, these were not available here in the United States. Sinclair did partner up with Timex, and they released a Timex Sinclair machine. In fact, I think they released a couple of models here in the US. But they were largely not compatible with the huge library that came with the ZX Spectrum. So I decided to import one in. And I've had this idea for a couple of years now. I'm a huge Commodore fan, as you can see from the picture. I have a Commodore 64, a Commodore Amiga, I have a Commodore VIC-20. And those were the machines that were really popular here in the United States, along with Atari and a couple others. But the Sinclair Spectrum, the ZX Spectrum, the ZX80, they just weren't here. So anyway, I wanted to import one in and give it a go. Well, the research that I did, basically power to these is a problem here because they don't take the same power standard. Video is a challenge because in the UK it is PAL standard for video instead of NTSC. Several other things. So that kind of stopped me for a while, but then I met up with some people, some friends on Twitter that helped me out quite a bit and to get one up and running. So I wanted to make a video and share exactly how I did that. So maybe it could help others that want to import this fun machine. First of all, I had to make a decision on what model to get. There are several ZX Spectrum models. There's a 16K and a 48K model with the rubber keys. I kind of didn't want that, mainly because I was worried the rubber keys wouldn't hold up and wouldn't work. Not to mention, once I import something which isn't the cheapest thing in the world, it's pretty costly to import things because of shipping rates. I wanted to just pretty much max out what I got. So I ended up getting very close to top of the line ZX Spectrum. There is a Plus 3. But it's not 100% compatible with the ZX Spectrum library, so I wanted something that was. So I ended up with this. It is the 128K ZX Spectrum Plus 2. It technically is the Plus 2B. As it says here, it's probably pretty hard to read on the video, but it's a Plus 2B model. This model comes with the data recorder right here, so that you can pop a tape in and load programs right off a tape. You can use the cassette adapters as well to load in programs from your cell phone or tablet. The back here, so this one was modified by my friend Chris Osborne. He's on Twitter as Fozztex, F-O-Z-Z-T-E-X-X. I'll put his Twitter handle in the comment field. But he did a modification for me to actually allow me to plug straight in right here with my cell phone or tablet and actually load programs in, which I'll demonstrate later in the video. But anyway, let's get on with what it took to actually make this thing work. So hold on, let me show you the power supply. So power is a big deal. And you could use a power converter that would convert the voltage from UK voltage to US, but those things are kind of bulky and, probably not the easiest thing to use. So Chris we ordered these power supplies from, I don't even remember what company, but it was online. They're just regular, almost like laptop power supplies. And then he put the ZX Spectrum power supply end on here. Just a little quick solder job there. I think there are actual electronic components right in the cable. but this worked out great, so I didn't have to worry about a converter or anything like that. There's the thing. I'm going to try to link. I'll send you some links. He did come up with an article or two on what he did to get the power supply and video correct. So I'll try to send links on to you in the comments on that. Another thing was the video. And I did a little experimenting with the video myself, but Chris also made, using a arcade JAMA board here, made a converter. He made this little daughter card as well. And this plugs into this wiring harness, and then he made a cable that went from this connector so that I could use a VGA monitor with the VGA output here. It worked well. There were a few artifacts on the screen. The screen was pretty clear. It worked pretty well. It got a short in it pretty quick, so that's why that's taken apart. I tried to take it apart to fix it, and I couldn't get the solder joint fixed correctly. And that's when I kind of looked into SCART. SCART is a video standard which wasn't really available here in the United States, but I did some research on it, and it ends up SCART is a very good alternative. And so what I did is, I want to show you what I did here, is I bought a SCART cable. So a SCART cable for my ZX Spectrum. They're available everywhere, available online. But I went and got this. And what this is a, see if I can zoom that in here. This is a SCART to HDMI converter. So basically you get a SCART cable, which is this thing right here. I'll show you that connector. Let me put this back on the stand. So this is SCART, which was not available here in the United States. So if you think of S-Video or Component or Composite, this was just another video standard in the UK, or in Europe, I should say, that does RGB. So basically, I just plug that into the SCART converter. Get that in there. So that SCART to HDMI converter, they're available everywhere. I went online. I think I got mine on eBay for 60 bucks or something like that. And the picture was so good that I went ahead and got a SCART cable for my Amiga and Commodore so I could use that converter with it. Picture looks absolutely great. So I think that's a very good alternative to trying to piece together a video converter for yourself if you're not really savvy with electronics or something like that. You could just pick up a SCART to HDMI converter and just get a SCART cable. So anyway, I'm going to hook all this back up, and then I'll boot it up and show you what the different options that I purchased with the Spectrum so that I could load programs. And we'll go from there. All right, so I'm back, and I got the ZX Spectrum all hooked up. One thing about the ZX Spectrum is that it doesn't have an on and off switch like the Commodore 64. So you have to plug and unplug it, which you could probably fix with a power strip to make it more convenient. I don't have that because it's hooked up to a UPS. But, you know, you just got to crawl under there every time. But as you can see, I'm going to turn this around so you can see the screen. Screen looks great. It's color looks great. There's no artifacts on the SCART. The sound works very well. I'm trying to straighten that out there. So that's using the SCART to HDMI converter. Looks great. Everything works well. So when I bought this, pretty much about the same exact time I bought this, I got, I also bought this This is a div MMC. It's basically a way you can load programs. I'm going to put the screen down here so you can see this with some light on it. It is a way that you can put ZX Spectrum files on an SD card, and I'll show you this in a bit in the video. There's two buttons here, a reset button, an NMI button to load the menu. And it also has a Kempston joystick port, which is very important. A lot of the ZX Spectrum games support either Sinclair joysticks or Kempston. Kempston is really just uses the same old school 8-bit Atari style joysticks that the Commodore 64, the Atari 2600 uses the same joysticks as that. And with this, you'll be able to use this interface. If you don't get one of these, you can load all your programs from tape using the, so if we swing back around here, using the built-in tape recorder. You could just use one of these tape cassettes. You could just pop this in. You might have to modify this a little bit to get the tape in. And then you could just plug this into a tablet or a cell phone and use programs. There's one called Tap Dancer, another one called T-Zix. And you could load the program straight from a tablet or a cell phone. You can even do it from your computer. I chose to Chris Osborne was kind enough to mod this for me to build an audio input. Some ZX Spectrums come with that audio input, so basically I can just plug into that port in the back, which I'll show you in a minute. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the video. As I showed you, it works real well. Let me power this off and I'll show you the div MMC and how you can load programs off of that. So let me just crawl under. I got to turn the computer off first to plug that in. So hold on. All right, so I'm just plugging that into the back here. I can show you that real quick. It just slides into the back of the ZX Spectrum, just like that. It's right here. It slides into an expansion port in the back there. I'll plug a joystick in there. And when you boot up the div MMC, it goes into kind of a custom operating system there that uses ext-DOS. I'm not sure what that is, but it drops you right down into standard, I think it's 48K Spectrum mode here. And then you hit that little NMI reset button that I showed you earlier, and you get into this menu. And from here you can pick a game. See if I can find one that actually works here. See if the version of Jetpack I have on here works. So we're going to pick Jetpack. I'm going to try to load that. Okay, so as you can see, it almost instantaneously loads. See if I can back off of that a little bit there. I should be able to pick Kempston joystick and start the game. The sound is coming through the SCART. So it's coming straight through the TV there. The joystick is plugged in. So you can see, I don't want to make this a game playing video, but you can see it works well, looks great, sounds good. No artifacts on the picture. It works very well. So let me unplug the div MMC, and I'll show you how to load in a program from tape using a cell phone from the tape interface. So let me get that set. All right, so to load Jetpack, I got this program called Tap Dancer loaded. I'm going to grab Jetpack from the list here. I don't know if you can see that too well, but it loads up, and then there's like a little picture of a data set here. I have the volume cranked up all the way here. So let's just give this a shot. So I'm going to type in on the Spectrum. I drop to 48 basic. Type load that. Then I'm going to hit play on here. And it should start loading on the ZX Spectrum. And a lot of these programs on the Commodore 64 and ZX Spectrum have these very cool loading screens that fill in as the data is loaded. So anyway, I'm going to sit back and let this load in. All right, so there we go. Jetpack all loaded in. Let's see if it works. Pick Kempston joystick, and we'll start the game. So anyway, that's the ZX video. I hope you find it helpful. The machine is a lot of fun. A lot of great games on it. Huge library. I think in number it's comparable to the Commodore 64. If you have any questions at all, I know my video didn't cover a lot, but if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer it. You can give me a follow on Twitter at @duhproject. That's at DUHPROJECT. Thanks for watching.